Hey, hey, it's Trisha, Triumph with Trisha here. So, let me get myself together. I didn't plan to get on right now to talk about this, but I feel inspired and bubbly. I haven't spoken with you guys for, glare, I haven't spoken with you guys for a while. Um, for no special reason other than I'm working out some other things and content. Is that better? Content to share. Uh, Yeah, because I finished the mini series and I have an informational product, which I have mentioned a little bit, but I haven't like done the deep dive. I don't like, I have these weird circles. I don't know if you guys can see them, but it's very distracting to me. Anyway, I have this informational product and it's very, I think it's great for somebody who it's the education. So if you want to actually learn the business of oops, the business of online business, that's the thing to look at. It's comprehensive learning like your YouTube channel if you have one, your TikToks and other social media, so on and so forth, right? It's not an MLM or a network marketing situation. It's not it's not any of those things. So I don't associate it with that, although some people do. It has its own lane, right? It's updated. So as things change, because online and with social media, stuff really, nothing stays the same. It's constantly changing and what have you. And so I don't have to figure that part out. It is done by the folks that created it. And I'll link it in here. Excuse me, I've mentioned it before, but again, I haven't done a deep dive. I did the mini series about goals and stuff, which I really enjoy doing, and it was a lot deeper than I planned to go and took longer than I expected, which is okay. It was a benefit for whoever, I've gotten feedback and also for myself because I'm being reminded of things I'm revisiting, old goals, plans, what have you. So, anyway, what I'm jumping on right now to talk about is oh, yeah, before I get into that, with this informational, educational product, it's digital. And once you have it and you purchase it, you own it. So, the bonus to having it is that you can sell it. You have the rights to resell it. Okay. I have I don't really have products like that. I didn't have products like that ever before. I see the value in it, which is why I made this investment because as things are changing and information is being updated, then you say, okay, I see this is now different. You want to make these changes here. It's teaching you the business of online business, which a lot of people don't know. And as opposed to having to go to all these different places and follow, a whole bunch of different people on their channels and stuff, excuse me, to get like, oh, this person is talking about this. Oh, hey, you is talking about that. You actually get everything you need right there in your own video, which I think it's truly beneficial because I've started to implement, little things here and there. It even has like your disclaimers and things to cover yourself legally. There's a lot of people who do not have this, and everybody should have it. It's not for only if you have an online business or digital product where you want to create one. It is for any type of business that you have or service and how to grow it, marketing, so on and so forth. It's comprehensive and it's yours. And there's so many other things that you can do once you have it, and you can create your own communities and like support for people as they're going through the journey of learning the business of online business. But it has its own lane. So the other thing I have been thinking about, I know these are contrasting. Are they contrasting? I kind of think they are. It's okay. I'm wearing it anyway. This is just a t-shirt and I'm in my downstairs in my office. And it's cool down here. So I threw this on. Anyway, The other stuff that I'm not thinking about it, I'm actually looking at it and getting started, is it's a company, and I don't have to do a whole bunch of work with it. Like, it's a passive and be an affiliate of it. And I'm excited about it though. And I just don't want to have a conflict of interest or confusion on my channel. So I'm like, what's the best way to go about? Because doing all these things online is still, it's a new world for me. But what I'm actually jumping on here to talk about is, I was talking with my daughter. I have 3 kids. My son is the eldest. Everybody's a teenager. And then my daughters. So the middle one, my eldest daughter, we were just talking a bit before she went off to bed. And I don't actually remember what sparked this in my mind, but we were having a conversation. And I was like, so I think I asked her if there's something that she could do for me. And I was like, let her, think about it, and then she can get back with me what the answer is. But I also was saying, no, mom energy, no excuses. She wasn't giving me any excuses. Um, yeah, she was not just saying a bunch of stuff and providing me with excuses. But I know she has the ability to do certain things. And so I don't want to put too much on her plate because there's school and, what have you. And I said, no, excusitis. That's a thing, eh? And she was like, eh. So I thought it was funny because I was like, oh, that could be content. That could be something that I talk about. But my mind went to all these different things and like just all these examples of it. And I was like, I don't know that there's some people that just grown adults who are not familiar with this word or this term and what it actually means. And I was like buzzing, I was bubbly as to this because, in my real life, I went through the mini series because that's on the channel. And, there's some areas where there's room for improvement, let's say. But even where feel that I'm doing pretty good in some stuff, what I'm referring to in the environment, you know, other choices can be made, and sometimes you're affected. It's not you that's doing or not doing, but you can still be affected by choices, right? That aren't that are being made but not by you. And so if there's an area in your life where things are not up to par and it's just not going how you would like, how it should be going, ABC, then what are you doing about it? And are you kind of like secondhand going through your own version of excusitis because somebody else or something else or whatever is not doing as what should be done? I'm really trying to be tactful in how I say stuff, if you didn't pick that up, because, there's an area where there's some stuff. Let's cut the bull snap, right? It's not okay. And there's some things that I have worked on fine tuning and I'm still working on, but there's some areas and I was like, nope, this is, mm-mm. So my own accountability is, what have I been saying to myself? Like, have I had the blinders, like the horse when they're racing and they just have the blinders so they don't see this other stuff? Because I see stuff, but have I also been compensating and saying, well, let me just focus on such and such? Because I'm not trying to teach that it's okay to be in lack and not do. We all have accountability, right? So that's not what started this whole conversation with excusitis. It literally popped into my head when I was talking to my daughter. But then I was like, well, this, like I said, could be content. So I looked up a definition of excuses, like just excuse. That's an attempt to lessen the blame, attaching to a fault or an offense. It's to seek to defend or justify. That's the dictionary definition of excuse. Excusitis this is another dictionary definition. I'm always my talking points, right? uh, a mediocre person who is suffering from the sickness of a mental disease of making excuses every time that aren't made by the successful person. Wow. Like, there's things that you hear, whether it's from me or somebody else, that we know these things already. We already know them, but then somehow, you forget, you go on about your day and your week and your month and your year, and it gets pushed back, and whatever else may be going on. Life is life, and you forget these things that are actually so basic, but they're huge. Is it really basic? Like, it's huge. So I was like, wow, I'm not necessarily trying to do another mini series right now, but I just was doing some research. I am a researcher, and I was online. So I'm seeing different quotes and things coming up, and I was like, oh yeah, there's definitely people have been speaking on it. And I have been in rooms and doing personal development where that was really introduced to me as a thing, as opposed to me just thinking my own independent thoughts about it. I was like, huh, okay. So then I see a picture, an image come up about this. Where am I? About this person or this book. And it says, can you see the magic of thinking big? And I was like, do I? This is very familiar. I have seen this. Do I have this book? Because I know I've read it or looked at the pages before. I got to tell you, that's my Instacart. Some groceries. I love Instacart. Moving on. So I was like, let me go to my bookshelf. It's there. And I was like, are you kidding? Have I been sitting on this gold mine for God bless how long? Like, I don't remember. And there's which I have. This is my book. It's tattered, it's old, it's worn. Probably my daughter, one of my daughters, the youngest, wrote her name in here. And this is writing like this is like when she was in the senior kindergarten, first grade, maybe, starting in the middle of the page and going to the end. It's very cute. But I've had this book for a long time. And it was stuck up in my bookshelf. I was like, well, you know what? We're going to revisit. Now, I just want to share this one little, it's like it's a couple of words. It's like a little paragraph. It's the cure yourself of excusitis, the failure disease. I think this conversation actually needs to come back into the forefront, like bringing it back to the front of your mind if it's not there already. Because are you kidding? Like, I read it and I was buzzing, I was buzzing and bubbly and yeah. So if you're going deep into your study of people, you'll discover unsuccessful people suffer from this mind deadening thought disease. Okay. And we call this disease excusitis. Every failure has this disease in its advanced form, and most average persons have at least a mild case of it. I got to tell you, I never want to be thought of as mediocre. Ugh, that's so gross. Like, average is not abnormal to hear, I guess, but a mediocre person, yuck. I don't want that applied to my name. Ew. No, thank you. You will discover that excusitis explains the difference between the person who is going places and the fellow who is barely holding his own. You'll find that that the more successful individual, the less inclined he is to make excuses. Hmm. But the fellow who has gone nowhere, has no plans for getting anywhere, always has a book full of reasons to explain why. It's interesting, isn't it? Huh. To explain why. Persons with mediocre accomplishments are quick to explain why they haven't, why they don't, why they can't, and why they aren't. I mean, most people in society have excusitis, either big, bad, or a mild form of it. But I don't really know that there's nobody at all that has never been touched by this on any level, right? So this is what you can do is study the lives of successful people, and you'll discover this. All the excuses made by the mediocre fellow could be, but aren't made by the successful person. Well, I mean, mic drop. Do you see what I'm doing here? Uh, Boom. Are you kidding me? I thought about my life as a single parent since I've been divorced, and the things that I wanted to do. And although I didn't think I was just providing a bunch of excuses. I was being real about this is what it is. And, going back to school was definitely a challenge. And I absolutely was, I desired to go back to school so bad. And I didn't see how it could happen at certain times. And I still fought through it. I've mentioned it several times. It's in the mini series as well, where I was talking about it. I just didn't give up, you know, and I talked about the struggle, but was it actually that hard? Or I just kept at it, right? Really? We can, so there's expressions that you can make. What is it? You can make excuses or get results. I don't know if that's how it goes, but you can have both. You can make excuses. I don't remember now. Sorry. But either way, if you want the results, you cannot be full of excuses. And it was just so like great. Instacart again. It was so poignant, and it was like such an on time message for this season. My this What is this, the second month of the year? I have a birthday in June, so between now and then, it's a season of change, and even not allowing for some stuff that has in a way been allowed to go on and continue to not. And I was like, this, I'm telling you, what I was talking to my daughter about had nothing to do with all of this conversation here. I can hear my precious, very Jamaican family say, excuses, you're full of excusitis, something along those lines. That's what I imagine that it would sound like coming from either of my grandmothers or my mother or, even my dad. Everybody has gone on to glory now, and I don't have them with me, but although I'm born in Canada, it's very Jamaican blood that courses through these veins. And so when I hear them in fond memories or references of things, it's always in Patois. And you may hear those kind of references from time to time if you haven't already. I don't want my story when my last day is here to be, oh, she wanted to. I always remember, but I never carried out any of the things. That's not what I want. That's not the memory that is not the memory that I want my children to have of me. And as a family, we had gone through a difficult season, and we are literally on the other side of that. That's it's truly behind us, but also in the daily grind of taking care of all the things and adulting and being mom and just taking care of this, that, and what have you, and trying to my best to keep this environment where I'm raising, they're always going to be my babies, right? But they are not actually babies anymore. But I'm still trying to nourish and keep the environment healthy and safe and all those things. I have to acknowledge my own areas where I have fallen short, and I have had a mild case of excusitis, you know, and I talked to them about that. So, what I think I'm going to do with this is go through it with them, just because I love to have conversation and talking points. You know, my mother passed when I was 17, and so she didn't see me into adulthood, as well as her mom, my grandmom. And that's not their dynamic. But while I am here and there's things, as I learn things, I share with them. Good. And as they grow, I'm growing with them. But also, we all like to think and we enjoy the art of conversation. So let's be learning things, looking at things a different way, because you can have foresight. You can recognize once you get more foundational. Oh, have I been talking about this for a while and not doing the thing, not implementing the ABC, whatever it is, and saying, here's another tangible example. This is not just mom talking, real life. This is something that's going on. I try to lead by example, right? Anybody that's in my path, I try to lead by example. Do I always have a perfect? I don't. But just average and mediocre, barf. That is not a word that I want attached to my name on any level, right? It's not. So how are we doing these things? I can get more into that. I actually got to go. I have to go collect my stuff, my Instacart. But it is in taking actions. Let's look at people. You can do this. Look at somebody that is doing well, that is doing the things that you want to do, and they're successful at it. And look at the things that they're doing. Are they always popping up with this? Oh, I have a headache. My this hurts. My that. My and they're not getting the thing done. I use headaches and or migraines as a reference. I have a chronic migraine condition. So sometimes that actually does apply to me, but this is something that I say every day, every day, every day. No, it is not. Sometimes it just means I need more rest. I need to go lay down. I'm going to pop back up later and I'll be good to go. But I check all my things and make sure that all my systems are good and the things are going the way they're supposed to be. And then I just get back on track. But also, if you're an energy that is draining and it's just not matching where it is you're trying to go, are you are you accepting excuses and are you receiving secondhand excusitis? No, thank you. I do not want it. I can see where that may have applied to me at certain times, but I'll be on it now. Let me tell you. Make I tell you. Things are changing. That's already in the works. But that's just a nugget that I'm dropping for whoever all sees the video. I do hope that you click like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And, I will be talking more about the educational product, and I'm just figuring out the other stuff that I'm sharing on my channel because this is still a new world for me, right? Said with love, boom. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm going to put the link for the educational product there. Take a look through, contact me if you want to have a consultation. That initial consultation is free if you feel you need to. Remember, I do life coaching things. This is what I'm doing. My desire of my heart is always to be a help to folks, right? So with that, I'm going to say have a blessed rest of your day, and I will speak with you soon.